everybody, Christina here with One Creative Direction. How are we doing? So you'll have to forgive the lighting. My ring light decided to stop working today, so I'm gonna have to either get a new one or get a replacement bulb or something. So the lighting's a little weird, so it probably looks like there's a lot of light over here and none over here. Apologies. So tonight we're gonna do something a little different. I made myself these cute little canvas bags with my paintings transferred onto them. I made these Friday night and posted in one of the groups, and got a lot of feedback and folks wanted to know how to do it. So I thought I'd do a real quick video. I'm gonna try to hit all the details without getting too in depth with going through everything step by step. So it is really pretty simple, but there are some details I want to share if you're not familiar with this particular process. This is a new product that was put out last year by a company that I use HTV for. So if you've seen my other videos, you know that I do other things besides fluid art. I actually have a Cricut. Started out doing tumblers and wood signs and such, so I'm very familiar with a cutting machine and all the different projects. So typically with iron-on, you use HTV, which is heat transfer vinyl, or you use permanent vinyl or temporary vinyl, which is what you may use for like decals on cars and such. So I do a lot of that on the side of doing fluid art. But this particular product that I used on these canvas bags is a lot different than, let's say, the cheaper stuff that you can buy, like the Avery brand that you can buy in the store. I think I bought some off of Expressions Vinyl, their brand where you can just print and like iron it on like a t-shirt or a sweatshirt. They're okay. They're made for like 3 to 5 washings. So they don't really last a long time if you're transferring that to like a t-shirt or a sweatshirt. So keep that in mind. So I mean, I'm not saying you can't use it. I'm saying I'm gonna try to point out all the advantages and the disadvantages of maybe spending a few more dollars and getting this product that I used I feel is a lot better. So without trying to get into too much detail and weeds in the field, when you use HTV, which is just the plain colors and the glitters and all that stuff, to transfer to a t-shirt or sweatshirt, when you're using Cricut, you need a high cotton content material, right? Which is somewhat challenging these days. It seems like everything is polyester. Now, if you're doing sublimation, you need something that's high polyester, low cotton. So they're kind of on the opposite ends. So you're kind of limited if you're doing sublimation to what kinds of shirts that you can buy, and then again with HTV. So the great thing about this new product is that you can use either material. And this company is called Siser, S-I-S-E-R. They also make my favorite HTV. It's called HTV Easy Weed. It's great. But they put this product out last year, like I said. It's called Easy Color Direct to Vinyl, or DTV. And I'm going to show you in Amazon when we're done going over the details, because you have some purchasing options, and I want to go over what those are and kind of try to explain to you how it works, and so you can figure out what you need to buy when you go in there. So when you purchase, and I purchased a package when this first came out, I purchased the full package, and you can get a separate one if you don't feel that you need everything that comes with it. So you can buy in multiple quantities, but I think the smallest one is 5. So you can buy 5 of the sheets that you print on, and then they give you, in this particular package I got, this transfer film. You can see it's really shiny. So it's kind of like when you buy HTV, there's a transfer film on the back of the HTV. But these are 2 separate because you have to put this in your printer. So this is the one, and I only have 1 left because I used 4. So one side of it is going to be white, just like a sheet of paper, same size and everything. And the other side is, and it's kind of hard to tell, but it's like a light gray. So if I put them side by side, it's a lot easier to tell them apart. But the side you want to print on is the white, okay? And in order to be able to use this, you need an inkjet printer, okay? I have an office jet, which is inkjet. I don't believe you can use this with LaserJet. They may, you know, come out with a LaserJet version at some point. I know like WaterSlide, you have multiple versions. You have LaserJet and inkjet versions. So, you know, maybe later they'll come out with a LaserJet version. I don't know. So basically all you're doing is taking your design and printing it on here. Now you have options. Like I said, I have a Cricut. And this product is essentially made to do a print and cut. And if you're doing a print and cut and you have a Cricut, you're gonna understand what I'm gonna say over the next couple of minutes. If not, don't worry about it. I'll go over the option B if you don't have a Cricut. So you have options. You don't necessarily need to print and cut using a Cricut in Design Space. If you have a really simple design and you just want to cut it into a square like these, you won't need that. I literally just cut this with, I have a roller cutter and a square ruler. That's all I cut those with. So I just essentially fit it. I used Microsoft Word. You could use any other application that's like Microsoft Word. If you don't plan on making intricate designs and need your Cricut to cut those out. That's kind of for the people that have a Cricut. If you do that, you're going to need the package with the transfer film, okay? If you don't need to do that, and you just have a simple design, a square, circle, whatever, all you need to purchase on Amazon is just the sheets of the DTV, okay? So you can buy it both ways, and I'll show you when we get into Amazon screenshots. Okay, so that's what comes with it if you buy the combo package. And what I mean by if you have an intricate design, so let's say these were for my daughter for her business, and as you can see, we used one. I cut out 6, this is her logo for her her auto glass repair company. And these aren't super intricate, but I did use the print and cut. You can see the registration marks in the corners. And then there's a registration mark around the outside of the design. So basically I printed this and then I put it on my Cricut mat. So like I said, if you have a Cricut, you know what I'm talking about. Put it on my Cricut mat. If you've done print and cut, you know how it works. You put it on there and then the Cricut will do an intricate cut for you. Okay. So if you don't need that, if your design is super simple, square, don't worry about that. If you have something a little more intricate, then you're definitely going to want those transfer films, and you're definitely going to want to print and cut in Cricut. Like I said, all I did was insert my image into Word, make it as big as possible, crop any, like this was a 20 by 20. Okay, so I took a picture of it and there was a little bit of space around the edge in my picture. So when I inserted it, all I did was crop all the edges so you don't see any of that, right? When you print it, and that way you're optimizing your space. And all I did was put it in my printer. Like I said, you're gonna have to make sure you understand how your printer prints. Maybe do a test sheet with a regular piece of paper. Like for me, this is the print side here. I have to put that down because my printer prints like this. You'll want to check that out before you put this in there because it's kind of expensive to mess up. So after it's printed, it literally is dry when it comes out. So I immediately cut off my excess and ironed it on my bags, okay? And basically all I did was, once you print it and cut it down to size, then you just peel this gray side off. And it's a real thin film. You can probably see here. I'll try to peel this edge back so you can see, hopefully. Actually, here, let's do this. So you can see it's just a real thin film, right? It's just super thin and flimsy, all right? So let's say this was my image. You just peel it off of this sheet that it's on, the gray side, and you just lay it down. So it's not like a decal, it's not super sticky. It's just like material. You can just lay it down on your surface, your t-shirt, your tote bag, whatever you're wanting to iron it on. You just lay it down on there. And if you have a heat press, you can use that. Now, I don't have like a t-shirt, like clamshell press. I have this. Cricut has like a special little heat press like this in 3 different sizes, but they're very pricey. I feel like this works exactly the same. It just doesn't have the Cricut name on it, and I purchased this a couple years ago from Amazon. I've pressed all kinds of stuff with it. I think it was like $50 or $60. This works fine, and the reason I like it is, you know, you have a large surface. Now you can use a house iron, just a regular iron, and set it between cotton and linen. The actual setting is supposed to be 340 degrees for 30 seconds. So if you're using an iron, obviously you have a large design, you're going to have to split it up by your iron size, right? And you're going to have to do 30 seconds, 30 seconds, 30 seconds, 30 seconds, and then make sure. And you're going to want, after you get your design where you want it, if you don't have a Teflon sheet to put on top, you're going to want to put parchment paper. If you have parchment paper in the house, if not, you can get a roll of it at the Dollar Tree. Just make sure when you put your design where you want it, it should stay in place, and then you take parchment paper and you put over the entire design so it doesn't get burnt when you apply the iron or the heat from the heat press. Okay, and then once you've done your 30 seconds everywhere that you need to, then, you know, pull that parchment paper up, and it's you're going to want to make sure, you know, that it's secure all the way around all your edges. If not, put the parchment paper back down and just run your iron, you know, over the whole thing a couple of times for, you know, 3 to 5 seconds, and try it again. And just make sure that you're applying pressure. The key to transferring something like this onto an object or material is pressure. And what I always do is, like I said, I use my press here, but I get my step stool, and I use my kitchen island, which is very solid and very hard. So you want something solid and hard underneath where you're pressing on, and you want to be able to apply a lot of pressure as you're heating it up with your iron or your press. So that's why I use the step stool, so I can get above it and push down and get that extra pressure that's needed. So just a couple of tips there. So that should cover all of the details for printing and transferring. So let me put this on pause real quick, and I'll bring you down to the computer and show you. Okay guys, real quick before we get to the screenshots of Amazon to purchase the product, I did remember that I had these other options for your iron on transfer, right? So these have been around for many years. I didn't actually purchase this. It came with my Cricut, and I've just never used them. So you can buy these iron on sheets that are going to look somewhat similar to the DTV, but even if you read the instructions and the care instructions, it actually says if you absolutely need to wash your garment, you know, please be aware it's going to fade with each wash and blah, blah, blah. It also says if you don't need to wash it, what does it say? Touch it up with a damp cloth or something to that effect. So they're obviously not made for long-term use. These iron-on options that you can get pretty much anywhere, they're just temporary use. Say you want to, you know, go to a family reunion and you want a picture on a t-shirt and you're going to wear it once. That's pretty much what the intent of these are. That's why I really don't use them. But yeah, you can buy them for, this one says for dark t-shirts. I've seen a ton of videos on dark, which one to use, dark shirt or light shirt transfer iron on. This is the one that I mentioned on the video. Expressions Vinyl has their own that they sell. It's essentially the same thing. I don't think the care instructions are going to be any different. I think, like I said, the intent is for these to be temporary. They're not long lasting. If you're cutting HTV for a t-shirt, which I mentioned earlier, and if you have a Cricut, those designs can last, 15, possibly 20 washes if you care for it properly. These, they say, in addition to this being so much more vibrant than these cheaper, iron-on transfer sheets, this color is just so much more vibrant, right? And they say that these last between 17 and 20 washes, which I don't think I'm going to have to worry about on these tote bags, right? On these canvas tote bags. But obviously, if you're going to put your design on a t-shirt or a sweatshirt or something that you're going to wash frequently, then you're going to, have to keep that in mind. So you're going to want to, if you're going to sell, so my intent, if I sell these, is to provide care instructions. So it would be like if it was a t-shirt, you would say, wash wrong side out, on gentle cycle, in cold water, no softener, and hang dry. Those things will make your product last a lot longer. So if it were me and I was going to sell the items on t-shirts and wearables, I would definitely include care instructions like I do for other items. So I just wanted to interject that information real quick before we get to the screenshots of the product on Amazon. So let's get to that right now, guys. Okay, so hopefully you guys can see this. If not, take a screenshot with your phone and then just blow it up. So this $23.99 is the package that I purchased, okay? And like I said, I will put a link in the description box for this one. And you have options down here, right? So this one here is, did I click on it? Yeah. So this is the one that you can purchase that doesn't have the transfer film. So you can get just the printable sheets that you can transfer without the films if you don't feel like you need them. So real simple, just make sure that you understand this is what you're buying. This Caesar Easy Color DTV 8.5 by 11 sheets, inkjet printer compatible, okay? So that's pretty much it. If you guys have any questions whatsoever, put them in the comment box. I appreciate you coming along. I hope you all get something super cool to print out on a t-shirt or a canvas bag or whatever you feel like. If I come up with any other products or ideas that we can transfer our art, I will definitely share. Hope you enjoyed the video. I would appreciate if you give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Thanks, guys. I will catch you on the next one. Bye now.